is absent. And as you see, Veront is also on the screen. And I wanted to welcome Veront to joining the committee. He's going to be an alternate. And we're excited to have his continued support and involvement with the outreach committee. We've had a couple conversations about how he wants to, contribute his talents, and he wants to do a lot of on the ground outreach. And we do still have a few open spots that we're going to leave open for some new stakeholders that are still might be coming onto the committee. But right now, Josh is not here, so Veront, you can be a voting member for tonight, and we're excited to have you. Thank you again.
Yay.
Those are
small point though.
Yes.
I don't think Veront is on the agenda listed as an
not,
which would, from Brown Act purposes, I think would preclude him from being able to vote.
Okay, so we'll do that next month. Is that cool, Veront?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Yeah, we just kind of connected today about confirming everything. So, okay, that's fine. Any reports?
Christy, you want me to go back on attendee?
No, it doesn't. You can still be, right, Roy? That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Technically, as an attendee, he can like ask questions, but like not participate in the discussion, kind of like, when we have attendees at our meetings. So for just technically, I don't know, if someone like pops in, you never know who could.
Okay, I'll do that. But Ron, obviously, we love you, and I'm going to make sure that any public opinion, we make sure you're able to speak your opinion. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure no one blows
discounts
up
this meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so those are my comments from the chair. Really great board meeting. I'm excited to move some of these things forward in today's meeting. We don't have any public officials as attendees. Any general public comment on non-agenda items? No? Okay. All right, so old business, the website RFP. This was something that was approved by the board, and I drafted the Google Doc, which is here linked in the agenda, and I emailed it around last week. And obviously open for anyone's feedback or input to make comments, but I thought we just take a minute to discuss anything live. If you didn't have a chance to review it, does everyone have access to opening it? Yes, okay.
I have it open. Yep.
Pilar, I saw you had some formatting things. Thank you. I always love some good formatting feedback. Now maybe I'll just breeze through each section, and we can just go section by section. And if people have a comment, we can kind of address it. So for the project, go ahead, Roy.
Just from a admin standpoint, and for future, and for this meeting too, it would be a good idea to include the RFP as a supporting document rather than just link to your Google Drive or whatever, wherever it lives, because should you change the name of it or delete it or whatever from your Google Drive, a year from now or 2 years from now or something like that, that link will break and nobody will know what that RFP was. So just whenever you can, try to put the documents on the website so that they're stable.
Sounds good. Thanks for that feedback. Okay, so basically the project overview, this is kind of what we've been talking about, is we want to update the design, make sure it has accessibility and mobile, we can optimize it for mobile and desktop, make sure that we can find the agendas, documents. Roy talked about was really important in events. The content management, I have this, Roy, I'd love to check with you on this, because Web Corner is basically our content management system. And so are we assuming that in this new website that will go away and we'll have a new content management system for everyone to upload things into, or how do you think that will work?
It will 100% go away. It's proprietary. They built it, they own it, and they won't even, we don't even have access to the server files to be able to transfer or copy or migrate. So it is kind of locked.
Well, we should have access to download everything, right?
No, not. I mean, if you have a server, if you have a hosting plan where you have access to the cPanel and you can access your files to FTP them, then yes, but we don't have access to see what's on the server. Our only way to communicate with the server is through the Web Corner CMS. So we don't have access, and that's how they want it. And that's also like one of the issues with like using something like Wix or one of those platforms is you're kind of locked in. It's makes it very hard to ever leave.
Yeah.
So we're kind of we have to avoid if we do build a new website. I really want us to avoid being in that situation so that we are free to migrate if we want to, and we do have access to FTP and things like that. So anyway, so that's
all right. Well, I do think that's a critical question that we should be addressing. And I just can't imagine that like these are our documents, like that we wouldn't be able to get them somehow. So I
we
think
might be able to ask them for like a document dump where they give us like a file with all of like different files, but they won't be, they won't be like hyperlinked. They won't be on a server. But they don't have to. I mean, they could be like, download them yourself. They're on the website, download them yourself. They may not be so willing to help us if we're leaving them. I don't know. I don't know how accommodating they'll be.
Yeah.
They might say this is going to be X number of hours, and per our contract, we charge you $150 an hour, and this is what you're going to have to pay. And so in that, they may charge us to do it. I just don't know.
I think it's a really good question to raise. And so maybe even the new vendor could help us with navigating that, or we can have those conversations with Web Corner directly.
I have a question. How much of an archive are we required to keep on our website? Is it 3 years, 5 years, 7 years? Do we know?
There's not a requirement, but I think I would try to keep all of them if we could. I mean, I don't think, I've gone back and looked at them. A lot of them are hyperlinked through Google. Like there's been times where I've looked for something that ENC has done, and a link in Google will turn up, a CIS or something that we did, or an NPG that we did, 7, 8, 9 years ago. And whenever that comes up, it's helpful. So I think we should try to preserve all of it if we can.
Yeah. Okay.
I think maybe, Pilar, what you're getting at, which I would proactively agree with you on, is like we shouldn't have our website be our archive. I know you're setting up a Dropbox, and like we should be setting up an infrastructure where that's really our archive, not a reliance on a proprietary website software, right? So I think as we roll out this it's Dropbox, right?
Yes.
So once you get that up and running, I think moving forward, we'll have a better process for accessing that stuff. But I think you're raising a good point of like, how do we preserve what was in there?
Yeah, because
I'm preserving it for our own, but like making it accessible to others. Like we could have 15 years of documents in a Dropbox, and if I go to Google and look for something, it wouldn't turn up there. It'd be hard to find it because it's not indexed. So I think it'd be really helpful to keep that available somehow, but I honestly don't know that it would be possible if we leave Web Corner. So it's something we have to weigh.
Yeah.
I can reach out to Web Corner and just tell them that, because I've talked to them about, some sort of a repository, and they of course shot me down and said, no, we don't do that. And I can tell them that I'm starting to build one, and what would it take for me to get a dump of all the files?
That would be great, Pilar.
And then just kind of pose it like that and see what they come back with, what they come back and say. Because that will be either they'll come back and say, no, you just go in and you download everything yourself, or we can give you a dump for X.
Right. Here's the other thing to keep in mind too, is even if they give you a dump, like if you look at any of the PDFs we have, whether they're agendas or whatever they are, if you look at the file name, there's not a file name. It's like some random string of characters. And that's going to be the file names when they send them to you.
I
like,
know.
have a way to send them to that are cataloged by like year, month. Here's the supporting documents. Here's the minutes. Here's the agendas. We're probably going to get like, 1,000 PDF files with the names that won't be, decipherable. So it's going to be painful if we do this.
Okay. Well, let's just keep going through, and let's just remember 2 comments per section, please. Okay, so I was actually able to get some of our insights from Google Analytics, which was super helpful to see like how are people coming here. So I included some of this in here, very directional for our vendors, which is half of our website comes from search. Kind of surprising, but not surprising, but like SEO, search engine optimization, I think is really important. And the other third comes from people like literally just typing in the name or it's bookmarked or whatever. So those are kind of like, I look at those as like repeat engaged neighbors. And then, the top pages are homepage. I thought this was interesting. Encino boundary map. Like, on our homepage, it's like, who's in Encino Neighborhood Council? To me, that was like people who are curious and they want to learn more. Like, am I in? Is this right for me? So that, I just thought that was interesting. And then, our big event pages like Encino Fest, and then Roy, to your point, board agendas, minutes, public safety is a big one, and PLU. So, I think when we think about design and sort of how do we optimize the homepage, like getting those things top and front and center would be helpful. Any thoughts or questions?
I would bet that a lot of people are looking at that map because they're trying to figure out what area they're in, maybe, and see who their area rep is.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so the scope of work, this is like stakeholder discovery is like them probably, once we decide on the vendor, they would come to the outreach meeting and they'd ask us questions. Like that's the discovery process. Update the layout, the visuals, content, CMS. I was thinking about you, Rachel, of like if there's a way we could have some integration with the newsletter. Constant Contact seems like a pretty huge platform, and there's a lot of like, it's an open integration system. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but it's just, you're pulling everything manually and we're uploading everything manually to the website. Wouldn't it be nice if there was some technological integration there? I don't know what you think about that, or if you've seen of anything that's possible that you want to do more of.
I can look into it and see what's possible.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And right now we can't do really, we don't have the server space for any multimedia. Like when we wanted to upload videos of the town halls and stuff, like we didn't have the server bandwidth. So we had to put it on YouTube and then have a link to that YouTube link. And I just feel like it would be nice if we had more interactive video. And then obviously train everyone. And, technical support is another thing we talked about, is like, how do we minimize that monthly fee? Yes, Roy.
If you go on our CMS, there is actually a way, and I haven't played with it. I haven't tried it. I don't know what happens when you do it. It's probably, Web Corner could probably answer it, but there is a way to integrate Constant Contact. And there's like a box, paste your code from Constant Contact here. And so I don't know what that does. We don't have documentation for it, but we might have something that does something like that. And it's a conversation we can have with Web Corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe can you give Rachel access to that page so she can click around to it? I don't know what page it's on, but
yeah, it's in the settings. And I'm a little bit, I'd like to ask Web Corner first before we play around with it, because who knows what we might end up, like, you know what I mean? We've seen in the past where you do something and it has effects that are unexpected.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's, but yeah, we'll explore that for sure. I'll work with Rachel on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so the budget, again, this budget is based on Pilar giving me like the outreach budget, and we have sort of placeholders in there for like the events, some paid social, and if we do Encino Fest. So the board had approved did we approve a budget, Pilar? I feel like we just did an RFP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll come, this is the range, and we'll go back to the board. I would say, both from a few of the vendors we've talked to already, and this is a very low range. So I think we just have to keep our expectations in check of what's really possible here. So I don't know if anyone has any other thoughts on that based on their experience, but it's not a lot. Okay, so we have proposal requests, basically tell us who you are, give us a portfolio, come up with your scope and deliverables, timelines. So what I'm hoping for the project is that we would send the RFPs out by the end of this week, and then we would give them, 10 days to come back to us with their proposals. And then I would love to do a special outreach meeting after that point, and then we could all discuss and review them, and then present them to the board meeting at the end of February. So basically use this month to make our decision, and then we would move forward with like making the change. Okay, so before I get to public comment, any other committee thoughts?
That feels like a really tight time frame. I think when we get RFPs back, there's probably gonna be like a lot of questions and back and forth about like clarifying and like having things maybe that were missed added in or things like that. I don't know. I think it's
It is a little aggressive.
yeah. I think it's gonna be, and even identifying like who we want to send this to. I think it's aggressive for sure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not trying to, this isn't set in stone.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we didn't commit to the board that we would bring it by the end of February, but I just this is what it could look like. Why don't, does anyone object to like, let's just try our best and we don't make this month, we'll do it next month. Because we know once we implement it, it's gonna take another 2 months.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. At least, yeah.
any public comment?
Sorry.
Go ahead, Pilar.
How do we send these out for RFPs?
So what I was envisioning, again, this is just how I work in business. You had checked in with Doan. They never gave you any direction, but it doesn't hurt to send them this tomorrow and say any direction or red flags. But we would just send this as a PDF and ask them to come back with, proposal, and we could do one-off calls to answer questions and then bring that to this committee or whatnot.
Does the web host have to be approved by the city? I have a feeling that there's like a requirement that I feel like there is something that says the city has to approve it, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe somebody else has asked that or knows.
I know that if they are on the approved list, it makes it easier to pay them.
Right.
But if we find somebody that's off the list, they would have to probably go through the process to get listed as an approved vendor.
Yeah, because there's on the top of all ENC neighborhood council websites, there's a banner that says an official website of the city of Los Angeles. So
Right.
I think you can't just have anybody willy-nilly do it for you.
Yeah, no, they'd have to end up getting approved. But I mean, if I went in, Web Corner is honestly listed like 8 times as a vendor. So, yeah.
But that's a good thing to add to our email that I'll send Doan, and I'll Pilar, I'll CC you because I know you reached out to them already.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Veront, I think I saw your hand up. Is that right? Okay, go for it. Veront, you please unmute.
Can you testing 1, 2, 3? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I think every single website that we have to design, I think the city has to approve it. Well, the board has to approve it and it has to go to the city. I am not sure because, it's basically, and WebCorn is the vendor for NC. So every single neighbor council that I know, from Woodland Hills to Tarzana to Encino to Shamanox, they all deal with the web corner.
Yeah, I think we'll do our due diligence to make sure. And there's also multiple vendors that do websites for city councils. So there's maybe they could give us some referrals as well.
All right.
Cool.
One thing to maybe add to that RFP is the big thing we need to know is what the monthly fee is going to be. I don't think that's on the RFP, but that's one of the big problems we have with Web Corner is what they're charging us every month.
Yeah, a good one. I mean, because we have provided for 3 months, but what is that fee going forward? That's a good point. Okay, cool. All right, anything else before we move on? All right. All right, so the next point is the town hall on Thursday. I'm going to pass it over to Roy. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town. I'm so sorry to miss it, but you will be fine without me, obviously. But Roy, what we have, like, obviously content that's up. I just want to talk about any additional outreach you want to do, like paid social boosts, or what your thoughts are about additional outreach for Thursday.
Yeah, we have, I started doing like outreach to media today, and just about every news channel has confirmed that they'll be there. So we have a lot of cameras there. And so when we have a big crowd with that really puts a lot of pressure on the city. We've kind of seen that happen before. It makes us louder. It makes them listen, and it strengthens our position. So we really need to do as much as we can to try to fill that room again. And so, yeah, I would definitely like us to do. We haven't done much, if any, I don't think, this term. So I'd like to do some paid boosts to try to get there. And it's open to anybody. I mean, people throughout the city have the same concerns we have. So it's not like you have to be Encino people, but obviously that's our focus. But yeah, I'd like us to to get a boost out there and do what we do.
Yes, that's no problem. And Pilar, we have, again, in that outreach budget that I shared with you, I have a breakout for social media for the whole year. It's pretty modest, like 250. And Roy and I have talked about this before, like for Encino Fest, we spent like 50 to 100. So I feel like for town halls, like around 25 is a good amount. And it reaches a really healthy amount because you geo-target to like the Valley in Los Angeles. So it actually goes really far. So I can activate that with our current post, no problem. Do we want to do another dedicated email blast tomorrow?
I was planning on one for Wednesday, like a reminder.
Okay.
The day before. So yeah, I think we definitely should do a second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to just use the same one you did? Maybe just emit some, like, you say reminder at the top? Like,
yeah, I mean, it'll be relatively similar, but not the same, because that would just be spammy. So yeah, but it'll be about the same.
But same flyer, right? You don't need me to.
Oh yeah, same flyer for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, cool. The one thing that I just want to talk about is like the on-site materials, because I know we have like our QR code scanner in the frames, right, for people to join and whatever. I will just say, like at other events I've been to that have been big like this, it does feel confusing because there's a lot of different organizations that have a lot of different signups. And this is really like an ENC event. So I just wanted people's thoughts about that, or if we should also, I can create like a written sign up for the newsletter instead of the scanner, if that is easier for people,
I'm not following.
Well, I mean, okay, I'll just be blunt. Like at other meetings, like, the EPOA had all their signups and they were actually walking through the aisles, signing people up for their newsletter. And I think we are already getting confused with the EPOA, and I want, like, I'm happy that they're there. I know they're amazing partners, but I just don't want to add to that confusion. And like, I even had people that said, I went to the thing and I signed up for ENC, but I don't get anything, but they actually signed up for EPOA. So
I agree. And ironically, the same thing happens with them, where people think they've signed up for EPOA and it was ENC. It's a mess. And I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to make some written sign up things. The reason we went to digital is because I was the one that transcribed those written things. And honestly, half of them are illegible. But, I'm happy to do that and print them out. I can drop them off at someone's house to take them over. But I think, like, do you have a vision, Roy, of like how, anything else you want from outreach to do at the event to kind of beyond what we've already done with like our sign up stuff and, tablecloths and stuff like that?
I mean, I haven't really thought much about that part of it, but I kind of trust your, what you think we should do in terms of like signups or outreach, or kind of, converting attendees to subscribers.
Yeah. I mean,
I like the way our flyer, that we've had that one flyer that we put up with the QR code, that, I like that.
Yeah, we have that.
If you don't think it's working, then, I'm open to whatever you think would be best.
We can do both. I'm just saying, like, maybe like if you want to send an email, like the public safety committee meeting or whatnot, or the committee, maybe they wear their neighborhood council t-shirts and they're greeting people when they come. I mean, I just feel like these big events are a great opportunity for us to connect with our community. And so everything we can do to like connect, oh, this is what my neighborhood council is, and walk around, like when people come in, there's people standing there, hi, I don't know. I just feel like it's a good opportunity to do some of that kind of on the ground outreach. But
So do you want us to have like physical sign up? Because we can have sign up forms, but we have to supply pens. So I don't, what do you want us to do? I mean, I'll do whatever you think.
I mean, I think easily, and again, I'm physically not going to be able to be there, so I'm being unfair asking for other people. But Pilar, you always do such a great job setting up our table. You actually have everything in your car.
It's like a mobile office for ENC.
You
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Are you planning on being there?
I will be there.
Would you mind just like setting up that tablecloth, and I'll bring over some sign-up sheets to your house or whatever?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, thank you. And maybe just tell the Public Safety Committee, like, hey, this is another great opportunity if you guys want to wear your t-shirts, or any board member. Like, you know, it's just a good visual of like, oh, I can talk to this person and ask a question. I don't know.
And then they know who we are.
Right, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, any other questions, feedback? I'll get those boosted ASAP.
Do you get analytics from when you do boosts?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be able to tell you how many people saw it and engagement rates and the audience and all that fun stuff. The only targeting I do is like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, you don't want to be just Encino people, so Los Angeles, I think, is a good thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you can target like the San Fernando Valley, I mean, I don't think people from Silver Lake are probably going to come, but if there's a way to like target the San Fernando Valley, that would be probably less waste. I don't know that people from what I mean, but or people from I don't know, Culver City or the South Bay are going to come. So if there's a way to target the Valley, that'd be great. Okay, I can start with that and see if it's not like reaching enough people, then we can expand it. So we can do that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, our next fun project is the logo redesign. I've already gotten a few emails from excited people that want to take a stab at it. So I guess similar to what we did for the RFP on the website, I just want to use this as like an open discussion of, I'm going to build basically a creative brief, just like we did for the website. Like, here's what we're looking to accomplish. And I just want to have an open forum. Like, what is everyone's vision here? What kind of direction do we want to give people? And then we can talk about how we engage the community or volunteers or kind of contractors. I mean, do we think the tree is important? Is that like a mission critical? I think it's mission critical to some people, and I don't think it's to others. I think maybe we propose two logos, one with, one without, and see what people think. Because I'm not opposed to having a tree. And I also think the tree could be different. It doesn't have to look exactly like an oak tree. It could be kind of like a modern, artsy, abstract tree. It doesn't have to be a traditional oak tree. So I think there's some leeway, and I don't think there's any absolutes. Yeah. What do we think about something that I feel like is really important is how do we make it simple and impactful? Encino Neighborhood Council is so long. Are we open to doing some things that are like ENC, or I mean, how much do we want to push ENC as a sort of identifying mark? I think it has to be both, because a lot of people won't know what ENC is. Yeah. I was actually looking for a logo file the other day to use as an icon. And I found some logos that I previously had made that I think I sent to you and or Pilar. Yeah. And there was one that stuck out as, like, looking back in hindsight, that stuck out that I really liked, that I will reshare with you. But I think it's, and that one I like because it had both ENC strongly and it had Encino Neighborhood Council spelled out. But I think it has to be both. And I think, if a good logo designer will probably have like a couple of different versions. Like, you have to have a Fave ICO file that you have for your tab icon that also gets tagged to your email when you send somebody an email. So we would probably have like a smaller version of it for for things like your profile icon on Instagram or whatever. Right, like we already have that. It's like just a green and a white tree. Yeah. And then the longer version that has the name of the organization spelled out. So
Okay, cool. Do we have a preference on color? Are we liking green? Are we open to anything?
I like the green. I think, you know, as much as I am indifferent to the tree, I think we've kind of been associated with green, and all of our swag is green. And
True.
unless there was like a reason to switch from green,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people associate us with green. But I'm again, if there was a reason to change, I'm an open book personally.
Yeah. I'm open to Pilar. I just want to know what the PMS is.
I know, that's all I know.
Because we have so many greens.
Oh, you need the head
It
scope too
drives
for the
me
internet.
nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we should just let like the creative person come up with some ideas. Like
Of course,
make it
yeah.
Creative. And
Yeah.
see what people come back with.
Yeah.
If there's too many constraints, we're not
Right,
gonna
agree.
get anything.
So to that point, in a good creative brief, we also communicate like the feeling and the tone and what we hope to get out of this logo that reflects our positioning. I mean, obviously, I would say things like community or, you know, togetherness. Are there other words that are that you would want to include in the brief that should emulate the visual identity of what we want ENC to stand for?
I think like neighborhood, family.
Mm-hmm.
You could do like shopping, you know, that kind of stuff, like the downtown area. Like something about commerce or something. I don't know. And then like the parks, because we're known for being close to Balboa Park. So that aspect of it as well.
Mm-hmm. I would say, you know, there is the Encino City of Commerce. And as a neighborhood council, we're not supposed to support individual businesses because we're a local government. But I hear what you're saying. It's just like the community at large, right?
Well, like that there's like shopping, that there's a lot to do in Encino. You could go shopping, you could go to a park, you could raise a family. Like it's kind of all things.
Yeah, I think leaning into the public services, right? Like that's more of the parks and the, you know, the nature and whatnot, not like the stores, because that's not local government.
We really do have a very large park and sports complex.
Yes, I know. And like the Olympics is coming. Hello.
We have a golf course. We have a golf course.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The Sepulveda basement. Yeah.
What? Sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
No, I don't have a comment.
Well, but you're making me think of, again, that Sepulveda Basin project. I don't know if you've gone through that 300-page PDF. It's a fun little read. But I mean, there's big ambitions to make Sepulveda Basin like the Central Park of LA. And yes, it's a massive project and it's going to take, you know, 10 years, but they are going to have a big chunk of it ready for the Olympics. And that's going to be right in our backyard. So I think that is a good reminder of, yes, we're kind of about the oak tree right now, but there's a lot more that's going to be coming to Encino. So how can we like reimagine and broaden what